You can only be you, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of You Can Only Be You podcast, investing in mindset, health, and wealth. We are your hosts, Keisha
and Ucoby. Today we're going to be talking about how consistency wins. And having that attitude just alone, I wanted to just share my personal experience with consistency. When I met my wife, I moved outside of my comfort zone. And I came to an area where I had to branch out. And I wanted to change because I was getting thrown culturally, things that I wasn't used to, things that was just outside, like I said, my comfort zone. But I knew I wanted to adapt. I knew I wanted to change, and I knew the person I wanted to be. I had this goal that I wanted to be this type of person, to be with this type of woman. And just to be honest, women can make a man do almost anything. Almost. So just having that goal and what I wanted to be, ultimately for myself, I had to consistently work at it. Consistently work at it. And it's still a work in progress, but every day I had to make a conscious effort. This is what I want to do. What would this type of person do? And that went from my actions more so to my thoughts. Started reading more, being by myself helped, but just growing and consistently every day keeping in mind what would this person do. It was pitfalls, peaks and valleys. She knows.
As far as consistency from my perspective, I just remember the first time I thought about sticking with something, just kind of figuring out who you are as a person. I remember being young and being around, you're in school and you're around your peers, and some people make fun of people and some people don't. And I remember I had the opportunity to decide if I was going to be the type of person that was going to be teasing kids, or was I going to be the type of person that was not going to be teasing kids and was going to be more on the other end. And I remember consistently sticking with that and making the decision to be the nice person. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that because it helped me. I believed in myself, and I believed that no matter what happened, no matter what someone else did or someone else said, I had to consistently know what I decided to do, what the choice I made, who I chose to be, and stick with that. Yeah. So that was like one of the first times I kind of understood the value of following through. Mm-hmm. And being consistent, because throughout your life there's so many things that you experience that challenges you being consistent and sticking with something.
Absolutely.
And I've run across a lot of situations that maybe not want to be a nice person that challenged that, but then I had to. And then it gets easier because as you consistently stick with that, you become that.
Yeah, because
it's no more of a thought. It's
right.
More of just becoming, and that's who you are.
That's who it naturally becomes. And that goes from any medium or position, profession, whatever you want to do. You can look at it from one of my favorite players, Kobe Bryant, RIP. He changed the world. He changed a generation of athletes and professionals and just people aspiring to be their best. And he looked at it from an analytical standpoint. If you analyze, okay, everybody goes to practice for 2-3 hours a day. Mm-hmm. Outside of that practice, you have to put in work. What am I willing to sacrifice, and how can I get there the fastest? If on average, the top 1% goes to the top ranking, which is the NBA, that means 99% of people in the world aren't putting in the work necessary. So he looked at it from a high schooler standpoint. If every high schooler is working on 2 hours per day in 4 years, if I double that or triple that, I can grow exponentially past the 4-year mark in no time. I'm going to surpass that. That's an analytical point. Mm-hmm. And you have to consistently do that. It doesn't get easy. It requires sacrifice. Sacrifice and discipline ultimately leads to consistency and success. And that's an illustration for anybody in any profession. I believe that even my CrossFit athletes can relate to it. I remember struggling with handstand walk. I remember struggling to jerk 275. It took me, I would always clean it. I could get it up. I could clean it. I couldn't throw it overhead. And just drill that, consistently worked at it. I used to miss all the time, and now I can do doubles.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I think about fitness and working out, and a lot of people don't know that I have a knee injury that I got when I was a young child. And I mean, I've had my ups and downs with it, and my thoughts about how I'm going to progress in my life with this injury and where that's going to take me. And I remember when I could not do a lunge or anything like that, like I just couldn't bend my knee. And I want to say that I don't know if it was more physical. In the beginning, it was more of a state of mind. I had to consistently have a certain state of mind in order to be able to make that happen. Because I would think it was so easy for me to be uncomfortable doing it and be like, no, I don't want to do this, I want to stop. I had to consistently say, I'm not going to break or die. I can do this, I can manage this. I had to be consistent in that mentality in order to achieve. I think that with a lot of things, because I mean, I look at a lot of people and I'm like, most humans are way stronger than you think. Way, way stronger physically than we could ever possibly imagine. I do think more so it's a state of mind. And you have to consistently believe and have this certain state of mind when you're trying to achieve something, whether it's a physical accomplishment, a mental accomplishment, or, you know, financial, whatever your accomplishment is. That consistent mentality and that state of mind and thinking and knowing that you can get through this, you can accomplish this.
Yeah.
Your result, the outcome can be and will be the result that you are aiming for.
Yeah, and you can always revert back to my main race, no bitch. I've been here before, I can get through it. Just looking at the past, you can always have more optimism for the future, because you look back and you're like, oh my God, I went through that.
Yeah,
and that's a consistent growth. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's simple.
like we both experienced losing some people, someone's extremely close to us.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people might say, how could you're so strong? And it's like, well, you have to consistently practice being positive and thinking in a state of mind. It's like if you can consistently practice being sad, you can consistently practice being happy.
And it's not like everyone doesn't get sad. There are
No, you
times
can be sad.
You can be sad, but you don't have to stay there.
Right, you know
don't have
when
to stay there.
once you catch yourself being sad, it's like, let me not practice and being consistent in staying here. Let me be consistent in being in a different state of mind.
Right, absolutely.
It's not, I mean, it's easier said than done, I'm sure, although it can be done.
It's one step at a time.
Yeah.
Every day.
Always. I mean, and yeah,
Always.
That's just the approach you have to take.
One step at a time, every day.
But,
Always.
yeah.
1% better every day
Like,
is my philosophy.
With fitness, a lot of people get discouraged because they say, well, I'm consistently doing this, not realizing that consistency is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
If you're going to the gym 3 or 4 days a week consistently and you've never done that, that's amazing. If you're maintaining your weight consistently for 6 months, a year, that's amazing, because your body is learning how to balance out. It means you're using all the calories you're taking in.
Absolutely.
And people don't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're getting up going all the time. That's
All the time.
being consistent. That's a goal. That's amazing that you can do that.
Yeah. And what you deposit will yield you great returns.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. In the wealth aspect, consistently putting something up in accounts that have interest that can grow will consistently put you light years ahead. You're buying time in a sense. I think consistency every week with that helps. If you look at 52 weeks and times it, let's say it's $20 a week, that's over $1,000 at the end of the year. Because a lot of people say they can't save, and you gotta put it in a different perspective. That's consistency. Put up $20, do this, do that.
It goes both ways, just like saving and spending. You also have to be aware what you're consistently not putting up and what you're consistently spending money on. If it's things that have not a lot of value.
Buying snacks.
Yeah, not a lot of value in the end game. So, just like you have to be consistent in saving, consistent in awareness and where your money is, how you're saving in your investments. You also have to be consistent in the things that you're not investing in.
Absolutely.
But see, this is what people don't realize. Investments aren't always just in the stock market. If you are a smoker, you're investing in cigarettes. If you're a drinker, you're investing in alcohol.
Right.
If you're a clubber, you're investing in the club.
Right.
I mean, we go to the gym. We invest in the gym.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money in memberships over years and years of working out. So I'm like, technically,
that's wealth, because in our perspective, it's return.
Oh, money can't buy health.
Money can't.
No, money can't buy health.
Yeah, and money can't buy being able to move.
It can buy you medicine and stuff and buy you procedures, but.
But in the whole wealth aspect, being consistent can yield you what this thing called compound interest. Typically in 7 years you make your money back or double it. And I think across the board, a lot of people should look into financial education. That plays a big part in growth, and not even just growth in wealth. It also plays a big part in growth in your mindset, because then you start looking at other aspects. Okay, this is compound interest. What I'm getting back is compound interest, and it's saving us time. We're anti-aging. That's what's the founding youth? Exercise.
Yeah. And those are things that we can be consistent in teaching our children, teaching each other, the mature talking to the youth.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to be consistent in talking to your kids about building wealth.
Yeah.
And being consistent in their choices, in their spending habits, being consistent in their choices and what they invest their time in, because that adds up. And those are things that we want to make our youth aware of, is saying that I see you're consistently spending your time playing these video games. Yeah. I see you consistently doing this. Have you thought about where that's going to take you? Have you thought about...
Well, nowadays you can play Fortnite and get $3 million.
Exactly, but at the same time, you want to have those conversations. Piggy banks. I wonder how many kids have a piggy bank. I wonder how many people consistently...
I wonder how many adults
have a piggy bank. Do you consistently put your change in your piggy bank?
And that's paying yourself, and that's consistently, everything adds up.
Flossing. I wonder how many people consistently floss.
That's a big thing. I love my teeth. We always say once we get that bag, some money, we
bling bling all around the city, bling.
Get teeth done.
I don't know the price of that music.
Yeah, but that's all we got for today's episode. You want to share anything?
I mean, be consistent. Don't be afraid to consistently invest in yourself, invest in your wealth, invest in your health. Pay yourself first with consistency. Consistently think positive, consistently believe in yourself, all those fun things.
Consistently pay yourself work first, consistency invest in yourself, consistently network.
Yes, network.
And that's all we got. You can only be you, baby.
You can only be you, baby.